Hello again. You are watching today on ENCA DSTV channel 43. Now, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana will present his medium-term budget policy statement in Parliament tomorrow. Several interest groups are expecting the minister to announce measures to help ease Eskom's debt burden. The utilities debt stands at around 400 billion rand. Let's speak now to energy sector. I'm joined by NJ Ayuk. He's the chairman of the African Energy Chamber. Mr. Ayuk, good afternoon. Welcome to Today on ENCA. Can we begin here first? Let's look at the continental picture, because just last week, the Africa Energy Week event took place in Cape Town. You were there. You also spoke to our colleagues here on ENCA whilst you were participating there. Let's begin with this question. Is the continent any closer to having a stable, secure energy supply?
Thank you for having me. The straight answer to your question is no. We are not there yet. We hope to get there, but right now, no, not yet. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of issues to be addressed with leadership. And we also have to take some responsibility on our side on how we have really dealt with electricity issues, the international community, African leadership, African business. We are not there yet because the numbers are staggering. 600 million people without access to electricity. This is staggering. Even those who have electricity, they are fooled by blackouts and load shedding, and that is constant across the continent, even for those who have some kind of electricity. So we are not there yet. We need to work more to get that done.
Now, looking ahead at the midterm budget speech tomorrow by South Africa's finance minister, I mean, what measures would you think would be useful in addressing the country's energy crisis, from your view?
I think the biggest mistake we would look at this budget speech would have to be looking at saying, let's get more subsidies, let's just pile more money. We have to look at policy. From a policy perspective, we need to free up our energy system, bring gas right into the market and get things going. But it's time for us to have sound legislation that will bring up investment coming in. This is the routine theme around Africa Energy Week, because there is a lack of investment because we have a legislative barrier that is stifling investors from coming in. So I think rather than just look at how to find 400 billion rand to solve Eskom problem, we need to be able to open up the market so that capital flows in, and when capital flows in, it makes it better. You can't even shoot seismic in South Africa to get gas to solve our energy problems. That is a problem, and it's not just going to be more subsidies, raising taxes, and really putting more cash. We need to draw in investment, because investment is going to be our way out, but you need the policies, you need that enabling environment, you need that support for business to be able to drive this. That should be the way forward.
Now, one of the issues here with Eskom particularly has been to privatize or not to privatize. Trade unions are very much opposed to privatization. This government has been busy unbundling Eskom into 3 different units: generation, distribution, and transmission. From an African perspective, I mean, when you look at the picture, would we be better served with Eskom remaining as a public enterprise or becoming a private enterprise?
It makes no sense to have a public enterprise that goes bankrupt or becoming a private enterprise. You need to unbundle it. If you look at Europe or other wealthy nations, the utility companies have been the drivers of offtakes, whether gas and developments around the community. In Africa, it has been full with subsidies, it has been full with bureaucrats, and it is not working. We have to be honest with ourselves. You have to unbundle Eskom. You have to break it down. You have to let the market work so that we would be able to remain competitive. If you don't do that, you are going to have this crisis continue day in, day out, and you continue to see rolling blackout. So you got to unbundle, because right now it's too big. It's not working. It has to be unbundled. You have to break it down and let the market will come right in. Look at most African countries that have unbundled are seeing successes. Look at Kenya. Look at some of the northern African countries like Egypt. They have seen rapid success in power generation. They have seen rapid success in commercializing electricity. And they have even seen industrial generation go up. So there is some African examples that you can let in. We can have to also figure out how to work with unions to ease the fear of them thinking about losing jobs or losing some kind of bargaining power at the table. But you have to look at long-term economic viability, and you have to look at long-term future of the company. You cannot have an Eskom that continues like this. It's just not bankable on any of their projects.